him. Now we go on to we have now not one but two members of the cult comedy team, bizarrely titled the Mary Whitehouse Experience. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David Baddiel and Rob Newman. David. Rob. All right. There we are now. Now, I was assured that you have a big sort of rock star-style following, and there's three of them there, so that's that's excellent. But you started on radio with a show called the Mary Whitehouse Experience. Was Mary Whitehouse in the radio show? Was that the idea?
Yeah, she was in it for a short time. Yeah, she used to do a lot of jokes, a lot of gags, and used to take her clothes off. She'd only do that.
I think you're fibbing there because she wasn't. And I think that's rather cruel that you've nicked her name. But supposing she wanted to do a sort of satirical comedy programme, review stuff, what could she call it? The David Baddiel Experience? Rob Newman?
She's slightly tiresome because she thinks she knows about every single sexual depravity, although, you know, maybe she does, and that's why she looks that way, despite the fact that she's only 26 years old.
Yes, now, now I've noticed a little quote about you. You said that your style of comedy, you don't send things up, you put things down. And is there a sort of...
I didn't say that.
No, didn't you?
I didn't say that either.
Oh, was that made up by...
Yeah, that was
by you, I think.
Oh, no, not made up. It was in a paper, it was in Time Out, I think, or something. But, but there is a sort of sneer factor to...
But don't let that put you off from the question that I was going to segue into at all.
Yeah, well, I'm only asking you if you have a sort of sneery sort of attitude a bit. Is that deliberate, or everything...
I don't know, really. I mean, I've got a problem with my lip, actually, where... I don't know if you can see this, but I do actually have a sort of constant sneer on my lip. But I don't personally think that the show is sneery, really. Yeah. I mean, you know, we just find what we think is funny, and we don't particularly worry about whether or not people are going to get offended by it.
You just get on and do it. Just
do it. You know how it is with comedy, people will take an adjective and say, oh, it's sneering, just if it wears a more negative word, like negative, was in fact more accurate.
Yeah. You lost me there, you're negative.
I've decided just to choose random words and make a sentence out of them for this.
Well, that's the way to write comedy, I always think. But you had a slightly unlucky break when you're on the television.
Circle. Sorry,
we've done that one, I think, but... Because you came on and the Gulf War was on the other side, on the news. Did that kind of... Did you want to do topical humour, or were you having to keep off it a bit because the war was on, or did you...
We wanted to do stuff about the war, but... we just weren't allowed to, and except from the very last show we did, I don't mention the war experience of all the jokes which we had, which would have been really funny 4 weeks ago, but now, you know, just imagine what it was.
Well, it's a bit difficult to make jokes when people are actually dying, and you know, the next minute could be.
They presupposed that the jokes we made weren't going to be saber-rattling anti-Iraqi jokes, which in fact they all were.
Yeah, they were. We had this joke about how Saddam Hussein looked like a cross between Omar Sharif and Bagpuss, for example. And they wouldn't let us do that for ages.
Bagpuss complained, probably.
Yeah.
Well, what do you like to do jokes about, apart from, like, topical stuff? You do... I know you do a bit about football. Is that kind of something you're interested in?
Well, we did a football show. We did a football show called Standing Remotely on BBC for a while. But we don't actually do loads of football jokes. Actually, you do a few, don't you?
Some, yeah.
Actually, I saw one sketch about you were making good stuff about Kenny Dalglish and how unlikely it would be that he'd become manager of Blackburn Rovers. Yeah. Probably the next day he must have taken the job.
We are the only people to have been sussed by Blackburn Rovers. That's terrible. You support Arsenal, don't you?
Yes, yes. Yeah, and so do 12 other people here.
I could support any team that has got Perry Groves playing for it. The crap player's crap player, isn't it?
You can't put down Perry Groves. We
put things down, you see, and I've just done it to Perry Groves.
Putting Perry Groves out of his misery comes on as a sort of useful substitute.
Yeah, when George Graham has run out of ideas, you can.
Yeah. So, do you support a team, or...?
Well, I don't like football, I support Chelsea. So,
yes. That's been a rich seam of humour comedy there. What about TV? Do you touch on other TV programmes? So I'm not coming too quickly with the questions.
I thought I'd talk for... I watch a lot of daytime TV.
Why?
Well, because I really like daytime TV, because it's a whole little world of itself.
Yeah.
Especially Going for Gold, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Which is... No, Going for Gold, it's marvellous, because it's actually not a quiz show, but a national conspiracy, right? Yeah. To make ourselves look more intelligent than Europeans, right? Based on the wholly incorrect assumption that there's no unfair advantage in being able to speak the language that the questions are asking.
Has it all happened very quickly? Because a couple of years ago you were, you know, sort of radio, and then you've been shot into television. Now there's a book out and everything. Most people wait sort of 2 or 3 series in before they get a book out on the shelves, but you've got, what is it, the Mary Whitehouse...
Experience Encyclopedia, yeah. Well, it's a bit different from most comedy books in that a lot of comedy books are just collections of scripts from the series, and we didn't really want to do that, because we are writer-performers, all of us.
Yeah,
so
well, usually they're collections
out of there.
Yeah, usually they're collections of jokes, but it's...
Watch it, Clive.
Yeah. It's, oh, we're not having... No, it's, I don't want to rip off other people's gags, but it's not so much jokes, really, it's our sort of put-downs. There's even an entry for me, which is immediately drawn to my attention, obviously, which is barrister, TV host, and soon slaphead, Thank you for the soon. I think it's rapidly going out of date, that joke. But it sort of remarks about people which are just sort of like criticisms. It's like a guide to Britain and things you don't like about it.
Yeah, but I don't think it's criticism to say that you're a slaphead. It's just a truism, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But that's, you know, that's an observation. But where's the joke?
Well, I didn't particularly write that one, but it got a big reaction from you.
Don't be frightened. You can say that.
But I mean, you know, some of the stuff we do is obviously critical, but you know, there's a lot of comedy and criticism, I think.
Well, I'll keep looking and I'll find it eventually. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us, David Baddiel and Rob Newman. You finished with the... OK, there it is. Now,